Hi guys, we're out today at this Astra. It has a misfire. We've come here with a scope to scope it, but unfortunately we have taken the cover off. I don't know if you can see there, we've taken the cover off and, well, we found this. It's not going to do it now, is it? No, it's not like not properly anyway. So we can already see there that cylinder 2 is arcing out and the spark isn't firing all the way through to the spark plug, and that's what's causing our misfire. However, I was talking to Darren from Mechanical Mindset, and we were talking. He posted a video where he used a 2p piece and a probe to diagnose a misfire, or to diagnose cylinder activity on the coil pack. So I was speaking to him, I asked him, because these have the 4-in-1 coil packs. Let's just show you. So these have 4-in-1 in one coil pack, over the cylinder, or over plug coil packs. It's all in one. If you see, I'll have to double check on that, but these ones normally have a 4-wire coil pack because it has a control module built into it. Obviously that control module isn't as fancy and high tech as an actual ECU. All it does is tell it when to fire and it reports back to the computer that it has fired. So the reason we're not getting an engine management light on for this is because, as far as this is concerned, it is firing. So what we're actually going to do is try that test and see if it works on these. So we've got ourselves a 2p piece. I've got myself just the ground, so it's just the power probe, the live side of your lead. That's all you're going to need. You don't need the earth side. You put the earth side to one side. So we're going to start the engine up and get you focused on the Pico software there, and see if you can see a difference in the firing pattern or the scope pattern of this coil pack. So let's go. So what we've done, we've got a 2p piece. We're starting off in cylinder 1, in coil pack number 1. We're going to literally just touch it with our probe and see what readings we get. So you can monitor the software for me quick. So we paused it on there. And you can see that we're getting this nice spike there, and we get a nice even wave pattern throughout the outside of it. So this is where the current is ramping up, or the magnetic field is ramping up, and then it's sparking out. So let's try it on the other ones and see if we get the same sort of waveform for them. And this here now is cylinder 2, so this is the misfire one. You can see we've got quite a higher spike, and I feel like this sort of nestles out a lot faster and a lot calmer, almost like there's less activity after the initial ramp up. So it would appear that we can see the difference here, but what I'm going to do now is change the spark plugs and the coil pack and come back and try this test again. And as you can see, that's well and truly snapped. And now it's stuck in there. So let's get that out. That other one is pretty bad too. It's snapped too. Let's just pull that out. That was ripped. I can see here, you can see all the green crusties on it. There's some serious corrosion in there. See in there. It's not going to focus. That is very bad. It's not what I wanted. There, can you see a bit better on there? All green and seriously corroded. There's all 4 out. Let's get 4 new ones in. Now we're going to be fitting this genuine Bosch unit. Nothing cheap, getting it done properly. What you're going to do, put a bit of grease on these boots. They do like to stick and come off on part of the service. Just putting a bit of grease on here now, should stop that from sticking. Okay, so now with that connected back on, as I said, I used a good quality Bosch one in there. We know this is perfectly fine now, but what I found most interesting about this is the best waveforms I got were actually from these 2 broken ones. So I am quite interested now to see what this follow-up will look like and to see if we even actually get a waveform from it. Maybe we were just getting a defected waveform from a defected component and a waveform that shouldn't actually be there. This is why known goods are so important. I don't have any of this. I don't actually know what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to learn and document that learning process. So let's go and find out together. So I don't know if you can hear that, but we've got the engine running now. The misfire has totally gone. So what we're going to do now is redo that test and see if we can find anything different. As I said, it was the coil that I was getting the best readings off of was the ones that were broken. So I'm quite interested to see what readings we get now. I'm expecting we're not, because the other 2 weren't broken and the signals that are coming off of them weren't very great. So So I'm expecting to not get a signal off them at all, but let's find out now, shall we? So now we got that set up, let's have a look at cylinder 1. As you can see there, we've got a lovely beautiful waveform, not very much activity after the initial ramp up, so it's spark, smooth, spark, smooth, spark, smooth, which is what I'm expecting to see. Let's try moving on out to the others. This is cylinder 2, this is our broken one. As you can see now, that is actually firing mint again, very, very similar to the first one, as it should be. Now we've moved over to cylinder 3, sorry. And as you can see, very, very similar again. Struggling to get one for cylinder 4, but obviously we know that there's not a misfire there, and that it is probably just a me issue and not a coil issue. Yeah, now somewhere in post editing I'm going to try to put those two up side by side so we can see a difference before and after we've changed the coil pack, and really just try to analyse that difference. Obviously it's made a hell of a difference to the engine and now it's running perfectly fine, but I'm just interested in what the waveforms have to say. Yeah. So yeah, we'll crack on with that and see if I can slot it in here now somewhere. So here's the before and after, the top one being the before and the bottom one being the after. So the bottom one is the good one. What's quite interesting there is that it was a volt drop, and I'm assuming that is a fall in the magnetic field, because what this coin is actually doing is picking up that magnetic field. So that coil that's inside the ignition coil is charging up, and then we see a volt spike, and then we see a volt drop where it's firing and it's jumping across that gap, and all of that voltage is being used up, all that current is being used up, all the magnetic field is being used, it's collapsed. So yeah, well, that's a bit of an interesting experiment. As I say, I'm not 100% confident what I was doing, but it was nice to be able to learn, and if anyone actually knows or understands this a little bit better wants to educate me more in the comment section, then feel free.